Okay, I've got something new in today. It's the Eachine Twig 115. Now let's take a look. And first of all, I want to point out that this was sent to me by Banggood for review, so thank you very much, Banggood, for sending this. In fact, it's the first time anyone has sent me something to test, so I'm very grateful to them for that. But also, I want you to know this will be an honest assessment. If there's something about it that I don't like, I'll certainly point it out, and I'll point out the things also that I do like. So anyway, with all that out of the way, let's take a look at this. So first of all, you can see it comes in a case, and it very nicely fits in the case with the props on, and comes completely built, as you can see. So you have here some basic instructions and diagrams. So that's good. I'm sure you can get this online as well. Nice that it comes with it. And it looks like a nice set of spares. Got a full set of props, extra props. These look like Gemfan 3025s, and some mounting hardware. And also it looks like it comes with some little foam pads for the battery. So that's nice. That's something that was missing from the Tyro 69. And so here's the Twig 115. Let's take a closer look at this. So there are two versions of this. One has the Runcam Nano 2, which is this one, and there's also one with the Caddx Baby Turtle. This one is $98.99 at the time of recording, so that's a great price for a little 3-inch 3S. And the Baby Turtle version, I think, is $129, and it weighs about 12 grams more, 72 grams dry weight, and this one weighs 60 grams, so that's really nice and light. If you saw my last video where I had the little Diatone Cube 339 build that came in at 70 grams, so 10 grams lighter is, I think, pretty ideal. And one of the ways it gets that weight savings is it's using the Crazy Bee F4 Pro, the V3 version, has a built-in FrSky receiver. And this has been upgraded to 10 amps over 5 amps of the last version, so 40 amps altogether. And if you don't want to use the built-in receiver, if you think you might want more range or something, it does have a little plug here, so you can attach, not with the plug, but you can probably cut the connector off and attach an XM Plus, or if you want to use a FlySky or DSM, there you can also attach that here, and there are instructions specific to FlySky and DSM, which you can get online. There's a little 25 to 200 milliwatt VTX right there, and the Runcam Nano 2, as I mentioned. And the way this is mounted is, it looks like there's looks like they're using metal screws, so that's good. So there's a metal screw that goes up through a nut, and then through this little grommet through another nut, and then there's the VTX. One more nut, and then finally a nut that's holding on the canopy.
If you don't stop naming nuts.
Which incidentally is not 3D printed. It seems to be injection molded with nice hard plastic. So that should be, I don't know if it'll be as durable as TPU. You could potentially crack it, but we'll see. I don't generally crash things too hard or fly over concrete, but I think that should hold up well. It feels very sturdy, but I guess you might be able to crack that as opposed to TPU, which might just flex. Here are the motors. These are Eachine branded 1105 5200 kV. These feel alright, but we won't really know until we fly it and see what happens. So I'm going to try this like on my last 3-inch build. Try it with a 3S300 and a 3S450. We'll see how those go. But before that, first let's plug it into Betaflight. I'll see what version is on there. And I'm just going to leave whatever version of Betaflight happens to be on it. We'll test it as much out of the box as possible. And let's see if there's any tune on it at all. I'll check that and see. So let's do that now. Okay, so let's plug this into Betaflight and see what is up. I'm using a Betaflight 10.6, by the way. Alright, plugged in. There are lights. So let's hit connect. Well, first of all, it looks like the accelerometer is working in the right way. And first thing, let's go down and let's check PID tuning. Curious to see if there's a tune on this. And it looks like there is some kind of a tune on here, because I don't think these are stock PIDs. 40 on the roll and pitch P, and then a derivative is all the way down to 20 already. So it looks like they might have already put some kind of a tune on this. So that's fine, we'll leave that. And it looks like it is running Betaflight 404. So I'm going to leave that as well. Power and battery. I might turn this down to 3 just turn it down to 3 volts. I put the warning cells maybe down to 3.2. Let's see, motor stop, I don't need that. 8K. I'm not going to use the XL. And let's turn on air mode. So, this looks okay. RSSI up here. Current, warnings, name, flight mode, throttle, fly minutes. Which timer is that? Timer 2. Okay, yeah, flight time. So that's good. So I think that might be it. So I might just put a battery on it, just see if everything is kind of working, and then, well, let's go test it out first thing tomorrow. Okay, so it's a few days later. Very first test flight of this, I had a couple of issues arose for me. First one was that the built-in FrSky receiver seemed to have, for me, pretty poor range, even compared to the V2 version, which I had flown before and still fly on the Sailfly. I don't fly very far, but on that I never had any RSSI warnings, or I never had any fail-safes. But on this one, as soon as I would go behind myself for just even a little bit far away, I got very low RSSI and even a couple of fail-safes. So for me, the built-in FrSky receiver wasn't working very well. And in addition to that, I did fly it enough to at least see that the stock props for me had some pretty bad vibrations. I tried both sets of the props that it comes with, because it comes with this set of spares, and both sets seemed to have pretty bad vibrations. So I came home, I regrouped, I took a nap, and then I decided, well, I'm going to just install my own receiver in this and maybe change the props out and see how that goes. So I had an RXSR receiver lying around, which I installed in this, and the fact that they include the little pigtail or receiver plug for an external receiver indicates to me that they think you probably will want to install an external receiver, so that's what I've done, and I've just tucked it in here. There's plenty of space for it. If I was doing this from scratch, I'd probably just buy like a $13 XM Plus receiver. It's a pretty cheap upgrade. And then you just need to change a couple of settings in Betaflight. In the configuration, to use the external receiver, and it's easy. And if you're using FlySky or DSM, then you're already using an external receiver anyway. But then the other thing I did was I changed the props, since the stock ones seemed to be vibrating, so I changed to these new Gemfan 3018s, and it was much smoother. So the vibration wasn't down to anything other than the propellers in my case. So if you're going to get this, I would suggest spend maybe $20 on a new receiver and a set of these props, or maybe some other bi-blades that you like. But for me, the stock props vibrated. You might have a different experience, but that's what happened for me. But anyway, onto the flight with this. So really nice, 3S. This is really lightweight. This is about 60 grams. With the receiver that I added, it's about 62 grams, so pretty negligible increase there. With the 3S 300, only about 3 minutes. Well, actually 3 minutes is probably maximum. The battery was pretty much dead at the end of 3 minutes, so I think a 350 pack would be perfect. 450, I think, pushing it on the weight a little bit, but I think that'd be the maximum. Would be a 450 3S, and then ideally a 350 3S, maybe something that's about 30 grams would be perfect. But yeah, flew really well. Nice choice of camera on this, the Runcam Nano 2, and the Crazy BF3 seemed to be running well. The tune that it came with seemed okay. I had a little bit of high-speed oscillation in some corners, so it could do with maybe a little bit of fine-tuning, or maybe you want to upgrade to Betaflight 4.1. But it does come with a tune, and also did come with its own rates, and those did seem to fly not bad at all. Another small change you might have noticed over the stock configuration is that I've moved the antenna over to the side here. In the original position, you can see it looks like they've probably just used a soldering iron or something to make a hole there for the antenna, but you can also see that hole is right over the camera, so the antenna would kind of have to snake around the camera, I think, in a way that I thought was a little bit too extreme, so I just routed it out the side there and put a zip tie around. It seems okay there. I don't think it affects the reception to be off to the side. It's certainly less stressed in that position, and also coming off of the board. It seems to be less stress on the connector that way too, so I've done that. So I want to thank Banggood for sending this to me to test, and also thank the anyone who's ever clicked on one of my videos, because if no one ever watched the one, I guess they wouldn't have sent me anything, so thank you for that as well. So anyway, I'll leave you with a quick flight of this on just the 3S 300. You can see by the end of 3 minutes the battery's dead, so probably want to go a little bit bigger than this, but I'd say no bigger than 450. But please enjoy this flight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.